Hello,
Let's
everybody, and
do it.
welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 19, Week 4. Today, we've got Shep's Clown Card, that average peen team that we never see, taking on Shenanigans, the chon team that we've seen every week so far, I think. With me here today is Space Cowboy.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, the other guy had to go to sleep. Everyone said goodnight to him in chat. It was really a touching moment.
5 seconds.
Very heartfelt.
Yep. Usually I would be talking longer about this, but I just got that one series. If I had not sped it up, would have been as long as 3 series from from a couple of weeks ago. So because it was 5 hours when I started game 2 of that and or the last series of that, and it's series 2 right now.
That's right, games and pizza. I can play, cast, and chat at the same time. I'm kind of a big deal.
There we go.
The CM ban, respect for Shepherd's Stone there.
Yeah, right now, while this is happening, while this pick phase is going on, Space Cowboy is considering buying a 40-minute Crimson Guard.
This is true, yeah.
Wyvern ban for the Mighty Midget, Lich ban because you gotta ban the Lich. CM Necro ban. Necro's good. I don't know about the CM so much. They just hate ice.
Shepherd's Stone owns on this CM hero, so it's
That's true, but as I've said many times so far this season, I think this is more of a meta season than a comfort season, for the most part.
I think in terms of meta, you have to ban the Lich. I agree there. And if people know how to play the Lina, you definitely have to ban that.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to ban their comfort too.
I think it's like Lich, Dawn, and Lina have to go every game, either PB. Surprisingly, I've not seen the Lina contested much this season, even though it is like absolutely bonkers. I guess everyone has a gentleman's agreement to not do that shit, which fair enough, good. Keep it going.
I've made no such agreement. We're picking that shit every week.
There we go. You've picked that shit 0 times though.
Well, you know.
Shadow Shaman.
5 seconds remaining.
There's a lot of PA getting picked as well.
Yeah, decent amount of PA
picked
picks.
Mid one game.
I think, yeah, that's true. And won with it. And it shouldn't have, but did.
Yeah, Shenanigans.
That's the name of the dyer.
Exactly.
I imagine they're considering banning the Zeus. Do you know much about avgpeen?
I know that he plays Necro.
Do you know that he plays Zeus?
He plays Necro and Sniper. I'm drawing a blank on what else. I'm sure he can play Zeus too.
If he plays Sniper, it's news to me. You might have seen the thumbnail of that thing in community content. It's a PSA. If you're playing against this team, do that.
And the Necro Zeus. Yeah.
Yep.
We're a very good hero right now.
I guess we're gonna figure out if chat was onto something with that. Ogre is secretly good. Talk. I noticed Geistinly left when he was wrong. Can we get a flame out on Geistinly?
I would never flame Geistinly.
Last time we saw the Abaddon being run by FireEX Joe, it was run, to say the least, suboptimally. And by that I mean he still built like he had the silence on the Curse of Avernus, so that wasn't very good. And it didn't really have any impact.
That being said, it is like one of the highest win rate heroes in multiple roles right now, so it's hard to go wrong with it.
It's true. Though I would say, as a general rule, I do think it is one of those. I do think that LDTL usually follows the pub win rates and schemes more than it does the pro games. I do think that Abaddon would be one of the exceptions to that rule, because I do think Abaddon thrives in like much less coordinated games. I think if somebody's on the stick on a team, if you have like some coordination, if you're planning around it, thinking about it, I think it suffers a lot, especially as S3.
This is one of the times where it's one of those heroes that not only is it the highest win rate on Dota buff, but it's also being picked in the pro scene as a pause 3 hero. So it's kind of the best of both worlds right now.
That's interesting. It was definitely not being picked as, it must be fairly recent because it was not being picked P3 in pro games last time I was looking.
It is fairly recent. I think it's just been this tournament where it even came up as a pause 1 once, but pause
Oh,
3
nice.
multiple times.
There you go.
And I watched a Speed Dota video on it recently, I think, or maybe it was a BSJ video. One of the
10
two.
seconds remaining.
So that'll be interesting to see. Either way,
5
one way you
seconds remaining.
most certainly do not build a Madden is you do not get, like, the Manta style on him anymore. I don't think that's very kosher.
On pause 3, I don't know.
I don't think you get. I don't think you
I
get the
think you go
Manta.
Sanjin Yasha instead.
Yeah, I don't think you get the Manta style on Madden like ever anymore. You really only got that just to get the quick silence off, and that is not a thing anymore.
Right. I think the pros that played it pause 1 and 3 were doing S and Y instead.
Yeah, I think that's just generally the better. I think Madden's kind of gone back to the status quo on 3, where like you pretty much have the option of you either build around that level 25 AoE mist coil trait, which is like, I want to see somebody run that in LD2O because I think that has a lot of potential. It's
As
like,
a sport, I think it does, but it's kind of weird. The pros don't even level up Mist Coil. They just ignore it completely and get stats.
Very
It's a
nice.
universal hero,
10
which I don't know
seconds
about that.
remaining.
It is also a counter to the ogre, because this
Yeah, that is
ogre
true.
is
It doesn't do
super
anything.
annoying in lane. You just throw out your W, and but Abaddon's like, oh well, whoever's lower, I'll just throw a shield on them. The W's gone.
Yeah, my turn, bro. Does mean you're going to ideally want some sort of mana sustain in lane. Like if Vlad's can do that on you if you want to do that. That's a classic for you. You can get a support with mana boot, something like that. But so long as you do get that, I think VS, which might be that, could do that.
Team pick.
Yeah. Oh, they did ban the Lina this game, so none of that.
I don't think I like that Spectre pick particularly much so far.
Not against Abaddon Venge, 2 saves.
Yeah, Spectre into not just 2 saves, but 2 heroes that she's really not very easy, especially the Abaddon. Like, you're never going to be able to ult kill the Abaddon, because, you know, even with the Orchid, he just goes ding. But,
Yeah,
you
can
have
maybe
to kill-
Orchid the Venge.
you
but-
have to kill Venge in the span of the Orchid, and she cannot build anything to deal with it. If she gets, like, the Lotus Orb, or she gets a Yules, and can just un-Orchid herself, then, yeah, she's just going to live that every time.
And if you go on anyone near the Abaddon Revenge, they're just going to
Yeah,
get
that's not
swapped or
happening.
shielded, and shield removes the Orchid as well.
10
So it's
seconds remaining.
Games and Beats, if you
Definitely a
like
bad
if you
Spectre
like
pick.
Spectre, you would love this season. This hero's in almost every series. Randy would certainly be happy, but he doesn't do these
Radiant team pick.
replay games. Dawnbreaker coming out.
there's-
I'm
that's
surprised
the
that
Dawnbreaker you talked about.
Shenanigans, the Dawnbreaker got through and it got this far, and Shenanigans didn't pick it. That's very weird.
Yeah, Mighty Midget likes to play it as a support, right?
10
Mm-hmm.
seconds remaining.
And I think it's generally better as a 3 than as a support, just because it's so utility-based. That you can
I like
honestly
it
have
as
like a
a
more.
support better, but
I think you can honestly have like a more interesting and influential. Because I think the issue is right now 3's still fairly much, pretty much the dead lane, the low impact lane at the moment. And I think if you get a 3 like Dawnbreaker, where it's like Dawnbreaker can do good and have impact, and that's great. Also, if she does terrible, she still has impact. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
very
true.
safe. It's low risk, high reward to run it on 3, and I think the reward is lower on support. You can just run something with a higher pay dirt on that.
I think
DK
it
coming
works
out?
great
Seconds remaining.
paired with the DK, because the reason Dawn 3 is sometimes bad is because you need someone to initiate and get the fight started for you to ult on. That way you can be on the other side of the map. And now that they have this DK, it works out great.
Yeah, they certainly don't have any shortage of that. Even before they had the DK, you always had the funny ability to have the VS just swap into the middle of the situation and jump on her.
That's true.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, very surprising they
Timber
let it go.
saw.
Timber into the DK, that's a classic combination. A hero I'm surprised. We haven't really seen it all this season, the Timber saw. I know last I
gonna say-
checked, he was pretty common in higher level play at the moment. Not
Yeah, I was going
necessarily
to say into
but-
3 strength, but I guess the Abaddon's universal now, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're a universal, it still really sucks to lose your strength. It's still probably the most important skill, like the most important stat if you're a universal.
For sure.
So.
And the Dawn and Dragonite are definitely most strength.
Yep. And I think it's just generally good as far as the game goes so far. You got the VS. You don't have that much CC that's like good for him. If you're able to get in his face with a Dragonite, you can stun him that way. If you're able to like drop on him as a Dawnbreaker, you can stun him that way. But there's decent chance that he'll be able to kind of outmaneuver those things. So the only thing he's going to be that worried about, I think, for the most part, is going to be the VS stun. And one stun versus Timbersaw, and so far no silences. Not the best situation.
That's true.
And even on top of that, even in the situation you are able to get him with the stun from DK, you know, even when you do choose to get him with that with the dragon form, it's really like not the target you want to get. You know, you would really prefer, I think, as DK to start on somebody who's like less tanky than that, right? Like you would really prefer to start on like the Snapfire or something. So I think so far he's in a good position if he's able to execute it well. That can change with the last pick, but
hopefully DK has a good game. He's got 3 saves to help him out. If it's a good DK game, this guy's gonna just pop off.
This is
if he has a good game.
This is like an above-average Timbersaw game, but unfortunately, it is a absolutely dreadful Spectre game, among the worst I've seen thus far, and a great argument against picking Spec, or this guy this early. I think this is one of these pitfalls the chon team is consistently falling into, and I think it's something that they're really paying for when they do it, is, like, consistently the last couple of weeks, they've been picking Coffee Cat, like, incredibly early, and it just never seems to work out. Like, look at the situation he's in this game, right? Like, that's not enviable.
I think he's got the 2 hero pool of Spectre and Bloodseeker, right? Maybe he's got some new ones that he plays.
He's one of those guys where he's kind of like Luth in a way, where he's kind of got these confidence issues, where he has a bigger pool than that, but he likes to pick within very safe heroes. I think, like he plays a decent amount of the Drow, he plays Sven, even if Sven is in the toilet. He's got a decent roster if you look at his hero pool, but he just tries to always frame it into like it's a Spectre game, it's a Bloodseeker game. He tries to get a very narrow pool into LD2L games, and I think that's really hurting him. I think it would be much safer for him to be able to rely on those like B-line, B-string heroes.
So the only person Spectre can jump on is Venge. And that's assuming that Venge is not near Abaddon.
And that's assuming that Venge doesn't have.
Still old.
And you cannot even die as the VS if you just get Yules. Like you just get that one item, and you're not gonna die anymore.
True. I don't think Yules is an item that Venge wants to buy, but it would save him from the Spectre problem.
You can get Yules, or if you don't like that, you can go ahead and get the Solar Crest as well. Both of those
might still die to Solar Crest. I'm trying to think of what Dispel Avenge would want to buy that should get rid of the Orchid. Maybe Greaves. I don't know. Not really Greaves.
That would be later. I think you would really just ideally want either the Yules or the Solar Crest. I think Yules is probably all right. I don't think I'm that sad buying a Yules here.
I think you'd just still die if you have a Solar Crest.
Honestly, I think really all you need is just the ability to just stun out the VS, or not the VS. Stun yourself, yeah. All you really need is just the ability to just stun out the Spectre and have the save come, because you're not going to be like completely alone as VS, and if you are, you're going to be completely alone in one of those downtimes where Dawn is going to have the ult ready, right? Like,
yeah, you just
why am I getting...
It does suck if you use Donald and Spectre just dips. But, it is what it is.
It is what it is, but still, like, when you know your big objective is to make the old spec have not...
Odyssey.
Don't worry about that. Your objective is to make sure that the Spectre doesn't have a game, and that's, I think you can accomplish that mission very easily. I don't know. I just hate it. Like, I'm sorry to say it like that. That's a very heavy way to put it, but like, you can't. This must end. This early coffee cat. It happens every time. Like, I think legitimately every single time they picked Coffee Cat this early in the game, every time he's gotten countered, right? Like, you can't keep doing
That
that.
being said, he's got the sandbag JBay Timber mid,
That's
so
true.
Timber will just get people low, and it'll end up looking good because
Yeah.
Spectre will get involved in some kills that shouldn't, in a game where Spectre should look absolutely terrible.
Yeah. I guess probably what you would want to do is just not do the conventional Spectre build in this game and just go for that, yeah. You just go for like the old build, you just get like an early Blade Mail or
30
Radiance or
seconds to
something and
battle.
just farm up, let Timber just throw the kills in your mouth and not really try to jump anybody yourself because you're not going to do that. Still a
Yeah,
pretty good
I
Timber
still like
game.
the Orchid, but
I think generally speaking, it's still a pretty good Timber game overall.
absolutely.
Medusa was not really enough to deal with it. Dragonite is going to either have to use Elder Dragon form or just constantly stay in his face, and Timbersaw is not really going to let you do either, and he's going to have a hard time killing the guy for a long time. Dawnbreaker doesn't really do anything to this guy, hates to see him. The VS is going to be probably his biggest threat. The Abaddon doesn't really do anything to this guy and hates to see him. It's also going to be a support Abaddon, so they're not letting Joe run that again, I guess. Poor Joe.
I think the Medusa doesn't have any real counters to it other than the Spectre, but nowadays I feel like
Well, Medusa
if you
has
can
one
kill,
more big
ooh,
counter. It's disconnecting.
yeah,
If she
Medusa
abandons the
counter
game,
being his connection.
that's a very easy way to stop the Medusa if she's not in the game anymore. Literally not physically present.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the ultimate counter.
yeah. The Medusa to Timbersaw matchup is kind of one of those where it really doesn't. It doesn't really indecisively most of the time. Like, Medusa will struggle to kill Timbersaw, but Timbersaw, unless he's like Ultra Ballin', also probably gonna generally struggle to kill the Medusa. So nothing happened in matchup, and generally I favor her team otherwise. So I think I have to give the edge to the Radiant here. That being said, I think it's time for everyone's favorite part of the cast, the roll call on Shep's Cloud Car. Excuse me. Nobody heard that. I don't know why I excused myself. Pause 1, Hurt Sound on the Medusa. Pause 2, you've got avgpeen, captain of the team on the Dragon Knight. Pause 3, this is not Haywire Gorilla. Pause 3, you've got Fiery X Joe on the Dawnbreaker. Pause 4, you've got Haywire Gorilla on the VS, who just killed Mighty Midget's courier, and he will no longer be able to protect himself with that ring. And pause 5, namesake of the team, but not actually the captain, you have Shepherd Stone, formerly known as Luke's, on the Abaddon. On the other side of the coin, pause 1 on Shenanigans, you've got Coffee Cat on the Spectre. Pause 2, you've got JBay standing in for Carp on the Timbersaw. Pro tip, don't accept JBay into your games. Pause 3, you've got US Danny on the Earthshaker. Pause 4, you've got Chon, captain of the team, on the Ogre Magi. Mighty Midget is not watching, he's just in-game doing something else right now. Excuse me. And pause 5, you've got that guy, the Mighty Midget, on the Snapfire, and we just panned
Ooh,
away
first
just in
blood.
time to miss that Earthshaker die. I just got hit in the back with just back rigged by the Medusa, Snake, and yep, there we go.
Unfortunate. Yeah, I gave out your prediction on Radiant. I think I'll give it to Dire just because of the sandbag timber. You know, I'll give a slight edge to the Dire.
Dang, that's more of
That-
like a strategic thing. I don't think that's necessarily a draft situation though.
That being said, though, the Dragon Knight is winning in last hits mid.
Yeah, that is true. So far, up 3. Down 1 deny, though. That's a pretty big deal, you know.
I guess it depends if it's ranged or nice.
Musa did not get that first blood. She probably really wanted it, but did not get it today. I guess if we're looking at factors outside of the actual draft, there is something to be said about the fact that Hurt Sound is not really a positive, really not even a core player. For the most part, 4 and 5 player, almost exclusively, kind of like Sabo was last season. On one
Copycat
here.
and Midget, both half health, while everyone else is full health around them, getting bullied under their tower.
But Coffee Cat is more of a traditional P1 player rather than a support player flexed into the role. And you do also have the upside of, as you said, the Timber Thaw being, you know, sandbagged. As far as the strategic non-draft parts of the draft go, right? That is a part of it. The thing that just worries me about the draft, about the strategic part of the draft, is like the Timber Thaw versus Medusa matchup. Nothing happens there. Both guys kill people around that particular person. And while it's a good Timber game, I think the fact this is such a bad Spectre game means that if this goes on to any significant degree, you're just gonna get to the point where, like, Timber Thaw does a lot of damage and then Medusa 1v5s. You know what I mean?
I think if the Timber, for whatever reason, had to 1v1 the Medusa in the middle of the map, the Timber could just use his spells, walk away for a second, go back in, use his spells, and he'd eventually win that.
That's
And
true.
I
Like,
think-
hypothetically speaking, if they have to fight, then he wins, but they don't really have to fight. He can't really
They don't.
do anything about her ult or anything. Like, she can
But
easily
even like
fight around him.
one blink combo from the Timber probably takes about half of Deuce's mana as well. So if he has any follow up with him, that's
I
could
think
be
that
a good
would
way to kill the Deuce.
that would be a situation where he would have to be balling and have the recon advantage. I think that's a situation where really he needs his team to be around, and I'm not very sold on his team thus far. Like the last pick Earthshaker on this lineup, I don't really understand what this is doing here. This seems really out of place. Danny just wants
and
something
they
where he can
also
do a lot of
have
right-click damage. That's it.
They've also got the swap, the shield, the Dawnbreaker ult, so even if Deuce starts to get low, she's not dying.
Like if Danny wanted to play P1 from 3, if that's why he's doing the Earthshaker here, then like should have just picked like the Wraith King or something, right? Like, because this is ignoring
Earthshaker's a great
not
three.
necessarily the Wraith King in particular, but just in the light of like you want more of a 1 than this. This is not really a guy who's gonna solo carry games unless he's 70-0. You know what I mean? And he's certainly not gonna be 70-0 after DK comes into his lane for the second kill, maybe? Oh, he's barely dying.
Nice.
Just barely. Timbersaw rotates in, but it's cut off by the Fisher here from his buddy. I guess that's one other thing, another X factor in the light of things is, you know, JBay Danny, that is a friend stack, so there's that. I think it's like the only 2 people that really know each other in this entire series. Carp and Midget would be a stack, but Carp's not here.
Dire's
So.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah. I believe Coffee Cat has played with Danny a bit too, right? That might not be accurate, I'm not sure.
I don't think so. He's not been on the same LD2L team, maybe in another league.
I was thinking it was Coffee Cat, Danny, Slavo for one. I don't know. That's probably
No,
right.
it was the US Danny Sabo teams had one season it was like the last season where it was like Matt Golden Dragon, Sabo.
There was also a Sabo Coffee Cat team, right? I guess maybe that's just the...
Yeah, that may be what you're thinking
They've
of.
shared a teammate, but they haven't been on a team
Yeah.
themselves, maybe.
Yeah, I think Sabo was on the team where Coffee Cat won. Yeah, the team with Joel and Dusty.
Gotcha.
So it's like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. Not exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know, the sad thing about this is that he totally knew this was gonna be like this land was gonna be like this when he got into it too. He is up denies. He's actually up a pretty considerable amount of denies on the Medusa so far. If there's that, that's good. That's the good news. But you really want to like kill the Medusa, not get killed by the Medusa or team in this case, as it were.
I think he's doing great on the Earthshaker. Other than that one death, he did get first blooded, which
He also
you
got
definitely
second
don't want
blood.
that. Yeah, second blood was like a hasted DK, nothing you can do. But he walked into getting first blooded, and it was kind of bad.
Yeah, I'm not really going so much on the performance aspect of it here, just as far as like he picked this Earthshaker into this. It's not like this is not like a great situation to be Earthshaker in. There's just so much. There's just so much crap you have to deal with all the time. Like he's one of those heroes that really doesn't like to experience like the Dooza Snake. You want to be on the upside of the HP bar as Earthshaker, not on the lower side. You don't want to be the guy who's constantly on the back foot with him, I don't think. Timbersaw TPing here on a fight at top. Fire X Joe on the Dawnbreaker, making a run for it. Not going to make it. He's going to throw his little crazy chakram out to get that.
Kinda crazy
kill.
that he's going for this, to be honest. Like, just walk back mid. You don't have to do this.
Well, he's going to do it. And
Yeah, if
Coffee's
they
going to
had-
get the kill, so there's that.
If they had any TPs whatsoever, it'd be, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah. Luckily, DK has no TP scroll.
Yeah, maybe they were good enough to look for TPs, I don't know.
DK has no TP scroll, and Baden doesn't either. I think he just TP'd here, though, so...
Gotcha.
Arcane boots on the Abaddon. Arcane boots on the Snapfire. Many blue boots in this game overall. Coffee Cat, very low here, getting bullied by the Dawnbreaker out of existence.
It's a
So
bit
that's,
surprising not to see the mana boots on the Dusa. Are you supposed to go mana boots on that hero? It changes so much, I don't even know.
You go mana boots if you need them to live. That's basically if you're confident you go treads. If you're not confident you go mana boots.
Gotcha.
What do you mean JBay died? See how this happened. He went up for like 100 to 0 there too. Gets stunned. DK ults.
Oh, the Donald.
The Donald. Yeah, okay.
That'll do it. It's a really good kill.
Yeah, that's a pretty big kill at this point in the game. They didn't even use a swap. They still have it for the Ogre Magi,
good,
who's
nice.
going to now die.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I
And the
didn't know
Abaddon
that.
shows up to seal the deal on this tower.
Structures are fortified.
So
I
something.
always assume level 1 swap is like way shorter range than that. And
What's
it
Chad
often
think?
surprises me.
We got anything from chat?
Let's see, which dragon did he
Dire's
take
middle
on
tower
Dragonite?
has fallen.
Red one. Yep.
Yeah, the farming one. Makes sense.
I don't think so far in this season I've seen a DK. In fact, I think it's been a long time since I've seen a DK do.
Radiant's top tower
Not
is
that
under
one.
attack.
Yeah, it's definitely
Rip to Danny again.
what's making him good now.
Making him good now. Can you imagine that? It's like, how long was DK terrible? It's like one of the longest stints of being a bad hero ever. And the one interruption in that stint too was just a patch where he just happened to be the best carrier of the best item.
Dire's structures
The
Yeah.
Meteor Hammer patch. Beyond
And
that,
the,
he was bad for like
Dire's
over a
bottom tower
decade.
is under attack.
It was bad for a long time, but the
Dire's
I
bottom
know when the
tower is
fastest first came out, was it the green one? I think was also good for a bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty recent too. Before that, definitely it was
Dire's top tower is
Yeah,
under attack.
he
sad
finally
times for DK.
he finally came back in the Mage Slayer patch, and he's kind of stayed good in the I figured he was gonna stay good because it's like the Mage Slayer change has kind of made it the
Oh
DK
no,
item. Oh
JBay.
no, he didn't even get the shield rune.
Swap him,
Artillery
swap him,
coming in.
Dire's top tower
swap him.
Huge artillery actually.
Oh,
It's gonna
no.
completely kill the
tower has fallen.
VS.
Okay, that was worth. I think if VS swaps there, VS lives, and JBay doesn't have a chance of surviving, but
Yeah, I don't know what the hesitation
Yeah.
was on the swap, but either way, still pretty good. Net worth, just linear advantage right now, favor rate, and everybody's above their counterparts. avgpeen happy as a clam right now.
Games and Pizza says, wasn't there a patch where you could just spam DK illusions to kill towers and win? I think
Well,
that
there was a patch where
little
you-
bit.
There was a patch where you can spam DK illusions to potentially kill towers if they didn't know it was coming and didn't do anything about it.
I know the big black dragon with the manta, when your mantas used to like have the super slow and stuff, and that was pretty good. It was kind of more of a meme, it seemed like, but
it still never actually
when it worked, it worked well.
Still never actually got to the north side of the win rate pool there. And I'm not even going to go back for that. Chon is in the bounty rune area and dies. There you go. Kill. That's how the kill goes. Chasing down the mighty midget, obviously he's not going to get stopped by a Abaddon here. He's going to have a Solar Crest, his weird magic wand update, the Holy Locket, pretty soon.
The whole Radiant is above every one of their counterparts.
I already said that.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to keep your ears open. DK is going to get his Orchid pretty soon. Spectre did what I was thinking and just went on. The Blade Mail is going to get an Orchid soon. I mean, I guess at this point, it's more than likely you're going to need to fight soon, not by your own doing, but it's more than likely you're going to need to, like, do things relatively early. But I think that's a situation where it's a need rather than a want, necessarily.
Games and Pizza coming up with a conspiracy theory. They said Dire are not allowed to win because their logo is Venge, so they're not allowed to beat Venge.
That's true. But I mean, this is the wrong kind of Venge, so.
Yeah, that Venge they're probably allowed to win, they just didn't realize it maybe.
I mean, my thing is nobody on Dire has their team's clan tag. Not a single person has the Shenanigans clan tag.
Ooh, the DK might die?
They did a lot to try and kill the DK. Didn't
oh my
quite
god.
Get the job done. Okay, they did.
There he goes.
JBay coming in on the back of that kill.
They needed that badly.
They really did. They're just going to take, all 4 of these guys. Big triple kill for JBay. I think an overextension there on the Dire and a little bit of a miscue there perhaps with VS very late to the fight. Probably, I think reasonably not expecting anything big to break out there.
Yeah.
3,294 gold changes hands, goes right into the Dire's pockets, primarily into JBay, who just made $1,000. And put him above at least one person on the Radiant, as far as the core line goes. Who's that? Getting close to his Blink Dagger, which, I mean, isn't really going to help him kill anybody, but hey, you know, it's a mobility thing. So
would be helpful if you put his Kaya out of his backpack, but you know. Oh, he did, never mind.
He heard you.
Yeah.
Zogre Magi is like... depressed is the best way to put it.
No.
I mean, this guy is
he's not going for Midas. I'm so
absolute
sad.
poverty, and he is indeed not going for Midas. And they just kind of randomly find Coffee Cat here in the middle of the jungle. Goodbye, Mr. Cat.
It's very sad when you're ogre and you don't go for Midas.
I'm already crying. The Earthshaker tried to do this ancient camp and almost died.
He's still trying.
Yeah, he still might. There's still a chance, Danny. This is a waste of your time, bro. Oh, maybe not. Okay, yeah, it's a waste of his time.
Definitely not worth getting half of a camp slowly and then going back to the fountain, but...
You know. JBay scouting through the enemy jungle, looking for a fight. Fight might be coming to him.
Yeah, he's alone. But,
oh my god, the fake JBay, the Dragon Knight realized that immediately.
Oh.
They're looking at Medusa down here at bot, who's completely alone. They scan out the Ogre.
I think if Timber
They scan out the Ogre and
blink,
everybody TP's in on it.
Ooh, this is gonna be a good fight.
Danny not present for this. Stormbreaker is in the jungle as well, but you know, has an obvious way to get there.
Oh, they just get an Ogre, which is not ideal.
Yep. Okay, they definitely didn't need the Dawnbreaker ult on that. That was really weird. Dawnbreaker is at least now in like this awkward place in the back line. Is going to throw out at the Mighty Midget here. who ulted to attempt to break that up in favor of Ogre, but didn't quite make it.
Was that a glimmer?
Was that a glimmer? I believe that the answer to that is yes. I don't know who has it though. Yes, it's
Snapfire?
on Snap.
Yeah.
Dragon Knight is the most anti-magic man in the universe. He has his Mage Slayer, he
Is there
has
a
his
fight on
Orchid,
the
he's
left?
gonna have his BKB. This man hates your casting.
Earthshaker and
Yeah, somebody who's being in on this said no, so it's 3v5 here.
Dawnbreaker
VS goes down almost immediately. The Timberthaw follows, maybe?
The Deuce
Oh my
is
god, yes,
here.
okay, he does follow thanks to the efforts of the Dawnbreaker there. She gets hammered by the
Ooh, the
Medusa.
Earthshaker probably gets away, but will Coffee Cat get away?
Yes.
Yes, he will. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
No. Bean does
Just
not have a
walks
blink.
over the hill. Oh, and DK is going for a BKB instead of a blink.
Already
I
mentioned.
think when you're this far ahead, you could maybe go straight blink, but
I get the reasoning, because the only thing he's afraid of at this point, basically, is just the artillery strike. Like, the only thing that does anything to him at this point is artillery, and I guess some of the Timbersaw crap wouldn't be that bad to get rid of that. But,
yeah. I think it's
Timbersaw, here he comes. Really not where you want to be if you're on the Radiant right now. Oh no, Timber's dying! Oh my god!
oh,
So much for the Medusa matchup, I guess. Holy crap.
right.
That guy melted.
What's Deuce's items? Oh, there it is, Manta. That's
Oh
it.
wait, no, it was mostly Dawnbreaker,
Wow.
actually. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Radiant's top tower.
There you go,
is
that's why
under
this
attack.
Dawnbreaker hero is really good right now.
I say that's it, like he's not the highest net worth hero. I just meant like the way that
Yeah, the way
The
Timber thought
Timber
died, you
was
would have
getting
think he was
chunked.
6-slotted.
Yeah. Like Rapier Butterfly or something.
And he sees this happening, thinks about doing something about it, and then walks away. Gotta say, thus far, the 1 from 3 idea, if he's going for that here, is not really panning out. He is not really appreciably much higher than the supports net worth-wise. He's just not been able to find the gold this game.
He actually was keeping up with the Deuce in lane and then just got picked off 3 or 4 times and slowly tried to farm Ancients instead of the jungle and just not been going well.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the Spectre, who's obviously going to need the money, and you've got the Timbersaw, who scrapes up every cent he finds, so...
Yeah.
He's going for his Zags here.
I love that Axe.
Smokes.
It helps you with mobility, helps you farm, helps you do everything. It's so good. Adds
Medusa
a
might
ton
be
of
in a bit
damage.
danger here? Okay, no, she's getting with her team, so... In fact, this
Hmm.
might be good bait in a way. If they see the Deuce on the wave and immediately everyone runs to her, that's good for them.
Guess it depends how
But-
fast they can kill her.
uh-oh, That's an even worse situation. They just find the Dawnbreaker.
They
She
go on the
dies this
Deusa,
way.
but she's
Yeah,
gonna live a little bit longer than the other guy did.
but she's out of mana here. She actually ran out of mana before she got to ult, which is very sad. That's definitely a bigger kill for the Dire here.
But if it's 1 for 3, it's probably okay.
It's 1 for 2, so it's a win for the Dire.
For
See
sure.
if the money goes for that. Yeah, even the money goes for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of awkward there. I think maybe a little bit of the hurt sound, perhaps an experience hitting him there. I think if he had just been at least on int treads, hit that wand, he would have had enough to hit that stone gaze and maybe live, or at least make them pay for killing you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe he still dies, but 2 more of them die.
Coffee Cat rage quit. Never mind. Guar. Guar. Okay, there we go. This avgpeen team has like the unpause debuff. Like if you pause against this lineup and then try to unpause, 9 people are AFK every time somehow.
He did add Blink, but it looks like he's still going BKB first.
Yep.
And then for a Bloodthorn.
Yep. Man hates magic. This is like the most magic-hating guy ever.
You ever heard of this anti-mage?
Yeah, anti-mage like wishes he was avgpeen in this game, dude. Like,
True, true.
it's a very slow Roche, I must say. Oh, VS has no points in Vengeance Aura. That's probably at least part of why.
And is not spamming W.
My whole life! I'm waiting my whole life for this Roche man to die. Saving some mana just to make sure she can do
he
something.
saves
the gas
the
for
W
last.
to get the last hit. He needs
The all-important last hit on
right?
Roche.
I mean, it is like 150 gold or something, whoever gets it. But it's... You probably don't want that on your bench, to be honest.
Earthshaker's
Unless
gonna
you're the
quickly
bench,
knock down
then you
this,
do.
this tower. Takes Radiant's T1 top for absolutely free.
He's getting close to that ice. 300
Yep.
off.
That's 350 to you, but yes.
That is 350 to me, but
Meanwhile, the spec... Really not where you want to be at this point in a spec game. Feels pretty high in the Timbersaw. I think, maybe, surprisingly in a way, just has not really panned out at all. Just has not really... It feels like this passive he has means nothing so far.
well, for
Though he is going to get the Axe pretty soon, so once he does that, that might be a different story.
I guess for the same reason it's a bad Spectre game, it's kind of also a bad Timber game. Like,
Yeah, you can't
You're
really...
gonna-
even with your Q, you can't
who are you
really
gonna
burst
kill?
anybody.
yeah.
You can get
And
the
they have
VS
so many
if you-
saves.
You can get the VS if you don't get stunned and she doesn't get saved, and then you're just kind of in these... I mean, Timbersaw is fine, I think, if you build him for it, in these, like, long brawls. I think maybe going for the Blink here, I know there's going to be heresy to say this. I think maybe going for the Blink was actually a mistake on the Timbersaw. I think maybe because you're basically guaranteed that your fights are going to be so long and hairy, and you're going to be casting so many things in them, maybe it would have been a better decision to just go for the Ags first. He would have had a well by now, if he did.
I'll go ahead and disagree and say that Blink was the right choice.
I think in this game, pretty much any time you would need Blink, you can just Timber Chin. Because the big upside to Blink, I think, is the burst. You don't really Blink for long fights. You Blink to just get the quick go. And I think you're fine Timber Chaining here, reasonably speaking.
I think
Also Rip
if you
Copy,
can burst someone before they get saved with the Blink, that's
I don't
kind
think
of
you
the...
can burst somebody before
you're
they get
going
saved. That's
for.
kind of the problem. Who are you gonna burst before they get saved, right? Like,
Well, probably the Venge, and you have the Spectre go on him at the same time. And then you
It's
just
true.
get out.
but if you and the Spectre go on them at the same time, and then the Dawnbreaker jumps on your head, you're gonna feel real silly.
Well, then you Timber Chain out, and the
you go.
Spectre just ults out.
And if you or the Spectre get stunned in that time, oh no, my Dawnbreaker.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think there is also a question of, is it really the ideal situation to be building a, nearly 3k gold item for for really one hero? Because that's really, like, the start of
Ideally,
it.
you get fat enough to do that to the Dawn, too. And, I guess it's really just two heroes, because I don't think you're doing that to the DK.
Yeah. I think
But if you could do that to the Dawn and Venge, it'd be pretty good.
I think you really just ideally would just rather want... You'd really want the ability, and I think you can build for it. You just isn't there yet. You want the ability to win the 1v1 with the DK, which right now you really don't. Artillery coming in here on this uphill push. Age is still out on the Dragon Knight with a minute to go. Very hesitant initiation there on the part of Earthshaker. Jumps into 5 and is like, never mind. JK. Really, are not keeping this tower up. No, there's really no real significant engagement. Everybody's alive, everybody's ult's up except for the artillery strike and the Elder Dragon form, which is currently in use, of course. Nobody's really going out here. The first attempt to do something is made by JBay, who's going out here with the Timber Saw Ags, and mostly just serves to give Abaddon his entire ult back. Ember Shaker goes in on 2 with his ult and doesn't really get anything done for it.
Meanwhile, the Dire or the Radiant ignores Timbersaw.
Yep.
Just kills his team.
Well,
then
now they're not.
Once his team's dead,
he's gone.
now it's time to kill him.
I could swear, didn't somebody say something like that earlier? Jeez, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
I'm on it today, baby. I got the goods.
Dire's
I was right about the PL. I was right about this Timber Saw, and it feels so good.
I mean, I don't think the Blink versus Ags things mattered. He had
Oh
the
no,
Ags there.
not
It's
not
just,
that part of it
yeah.
necessarily. I think the thing I was saying is like he wants to get the Ags earlier and use that to snowball more. Maybe get the Blink later once you're able to actually like kill people, because it's kind of the issue that you get with like Slardar sometimes, where it's like, great, you got the Blink, you're able to initiate really quickly, but now then what? You know what I mean? You're able to jump into 5 and die really quickly.
They needed to smoke with like the Ogre, Timber, Snap, and find a kill, burst them.
Find
let
one
the,
kill and hope to
Spectre,
Jesus Christ nobody does anything about it.
and the Spectre gets involved too, and hopefully gets some gold, because he definitely needs it as well. But unfortunately,
Found the Earthshaker here. Who's been
easier
doing a
said
good
than
job
done.
trying to get the hell out. But
he does have the Axe, so that was a short jump.
the DK is not here. Needs their best solution.
Got
They have
the
to deal-
jumping in. Oh no!
Got stunned midair and died.
Yeah.
That was a
Couple
good
short
shot from
jumps
the
there.
VS. If you
That,
think about it.
yeah.
He wasted a little bit of time. That's all he was able to do. And the Dawnbreaker just
Midget?
finds the Mighty Midget.
Oh no! Oh,
Gives him one sweep, but
just
whiffs the rest.
barely getting out of there.
Coffee Cat is. Me. Okay. Man is
Oh,
so.
he's just waiting for the creeps to spawn.
He is so out of
Interesting.
it. He's just sitting there waiting for the one camp to spawn over and over.
It also looks like he might just be waiting for the game to end at this point.
I mean, yeah, but
I wonder if he's gonna go cut the wave.
let's
I'm
find
thinking
out.
no.
Well,
I'm thinking no.
Dawnbreaker gets a nice free shard. It's a very nice shard in this game, actually. Just here at the foot of the T3 tower with their 20k gold advantage.
I feel like it's a good determination of if you're trying to wait for the game to end versus delay the game, if you're cutting the creeps down there. But,
The Ogre Magi is still in it to win it. Elder Dragon form is going to come up, and once again, avgpeen is just going to walk uphill.
meanwhile, the turret is
Artillery
doing work,
strike,
but,
they're putting
for what?
everything on the DK, and he's just going to hit BKB and he doesn't care. They put everything on the DK, and he still has full health. 2 down, Earthshaker and the Ogre Magi die in the effects of the Medusa ult, and the Timber Saw swiftly follows. Earthshaker buys back. You've got no ult. I don't know what you think you're doing here.
Yeah, the Spectre's
Snap
still hitting
dies.
creeps down there.
Mega creeps.
There was nothing for him to do, but other than maybe cut waves.
The Radiant now have mega creeps.
And I think, so long as they don't start splitting up and getting killed by Ursa over and over like some people, yeah, this should be it. Midget calls a GG, we're going home.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah,
They want to get that one extra kill on Danny if they don't get it.
it was definitely a good draft from Shepard's Clown Car. All those saves and the tanky heroes against the heroes that want to get kills. We're too big and tanky and savvy, and yeah, heck you can't have any kills. Worked out really well.
Yeah, I think all things considered, everything said, I think this kind of worked how it did in my head. That rhymed. Um, they just the Dawnbreaker is just a dumb hero with really good numbers that they struggled with. The Abaddon, dumb heroes with big numbers that they struggled with. But I think the big thing is, I guess the two big things. A, Coffee Cat picked too early. Just like the
We picked the wrong hero. Is
unfortunate situation, yeah, picked too early. Not even the wrong hero necessarily. It just didn't ban around it, didn't pick
well,
around it. But I think
there
that
was already Abaddon Venge when he picked.
yeah, I guess that's true. So it was the wrong hero when he picked it, and it got wronger. But like, didn't get screened for or anything. But I think the big thing is they just kept going in on it. Like, this is such a bad team to try and get picks on because everything has to go so perfect. Like, it really is. The way you get picks in this game is you smoke with everyone, you go on VS, and you pray to God everybody is really far away and asleep at the wheel. That's how you get picks in this game. And they
I
just kept
think
doubling
they
down. More picks,
bef-
more picks. Timber
before the
sauce.
BKB they might be able to get the Dawn as well, but it's just I don't know. It was an uphill battle, and even with a Divine Player on their team, they couldn't pull through.
Yeah. I think they went all in on picks in a game where it's impossible to get picks.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
agree. In
just
hindsight,
picking the spec too early, it was just so it's just so rough. They just can't keep doing this. I think this is honestly, I think that's the absolute number one sticking weak point of this team week over week. It's the mistake they keep on making, and every week they get hammered for it. Can't be picking this Coffee Cat so goddamn early. So early too. Like they picked him second. They didn't even wait till the end of the second pick phase. They were like, we got to get him out pronto. You know what I mean?
yeah, they thought the other team was going to steal him or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
What is this healing? Do you see this spam thing in your chat? I don't know what this is.
Oh,
I'm guessing that's some sort of spam nonsense, but
it's some sort of banned
yeah,
nonsense.
there
We'll
we
see
go.
what happens next time.